Welcome to Super Elite Entertainment. This show is brought to you by Perez Tire Center, located at 72 Knowlton Street in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Aces Bail Bond, Yasmin Khan, quick response 24/7, easy payment 203-257-6228. Ramirez Spanish Restaurant, specializing in seafood y churrasco. Spark City Smoke and Vape Shop, located at 815 Lafayette Boulevard in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Evolution Sports Bar and Cafe, located at 1279 North Avenue in Bridgeport. Miranda & Sons Automotive, specializing in brakes, electrical system, diagnostic check, full general auto repairs. Contact Louis Miranda at Miranda & Sons. And Bridgeport Auto Glass, 1227 Barnum Avenue in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Visit www.bridgeportautoglassshop.com. What's up, you guys? Welcome to Life with Jason Rodriguez. I'm your host, and we are broadcasting from the city of Bridgeport, Connecticut. I hope you guys are having a good evening. I hope you had a good week, especially this weekend, which was Labor Day weekend. I hope you guys was able to get out there and enjoy yourselves. There's a ton of cookouts that took place Saturday and Sunday. Unfortunately, I didn't have an opportunity to attend any. Actually, no, I did go on a cookout on Sunday, if I should say. I went and spent some time with family. I was there for about maybe 2 hours. We had a good time. I had me some hot dogs, some burgers, and yeah, man. You know, as you already know, family is really important. But tonight, I want to welcome each and every one of you who are tuning into the show. If you're watching, I'm going to kindly ask you to please click that share button and share this live broadcast into your timeline. Forward this broadcast to someone that you know. Let them know that we're broadcasting live from our studio on Bridgeport, Connecticut, and I'm excited because tonight I have a Bridgeport police detective, no other than Jorge Cintron, who's here in the studio with me tonight. He's going to be sitting on the hot seat momentarily. Jorge Cintron this past week has made major headlines. I mean, he's been on News 12, News 8. He has been on national news because of his heroic actions that took place this past week, where he jumped into action and he was able to, you know what, he's going to break it all down to you shortly, where he was able to help a father deliver their baby in the backseat of a vehicle. So I'm excited to have George here in the studio with me tonight, and he's going to be talking about that shortly. But again, share this live broadcast onto your timeline. Let someone know that we're broadcasting live tonight from our studio located here in the great city of Bridgeport, Connecticut. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but when I come back, I have Jorge Cintron on the hot seat momentarily. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
El mejor ambiente de Bridgeport, Connecticut presenta Jueves de Karaoke y Happy Hour.
Estoy enamorado de una mala.
Viernes de Ladies Night, donde las damas entran gratis la noche entera.
¡Qué chévere!
Sábado de Fusion Day. Y los domingos son de rumba, con especial toda la noche. Además, todos los días mezclando en vivo los especiales en bebida y Bridgeport, Connecticut. Reservas al 203-908-1588. Evolution Sport Bar Café, el mejor ambiente.
All right, you guys, and welcome back to Live with Jason Rodriguez. I'm your host, and we're broadcasting from the city of Bridgeport, Connecticut, where our studio is located, the Super Elite Entertainment Studio. And yes, we do have a real-life studio. I always say this every show. We're not at in the basement of my home. I'm not using somebody's closet nor somebody's garage. We have a real legit live studio here in downtown Bridgeport, right across the street from the Bijou Theater in Murphy's Law, and right underneath our studio is Cario Cumbre. So yep, we have a real life studio we're broadcasting here from. And listen, if you're not following us on social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, even on Twitch or Periscope, go on there, man, subscribe to our channel, follow us, click that follow button, and I guarantee you that we will follow you in return. But without further ado, I want to present to you a really, really good special person, man, who has been on the Bridgeport Police Department for at least 24 years. 23 and a half, 24 years strong. He's a native of Puerto Rico, moved from Puerto Rico here to the city of Bridgeport, and he's been around for a long time. Most of you guys know Jorge Cintron. He's a detective in the Bridgeport Police Department. He's a homicide detective. So listen, that alone right there makes his job extremely interesting. And George, he's the type of officer where if he comes knocking on your door or if he's calling your phone, there's a possibility he's going to give you some bad news. But tonight, I'm excited to have George here because he's going to give us some good news tonight of an incident that took place last week. And he was a part of it, man. It made major headlines. And let's just jump right into it. I present to you guys my good friend, Jorge Cintron. What's up, George?
Hi, Jason. Thanks for having me.
Definitely, George, man. How you doing?
Doing great.
Yeah?
Just like you, I spend Labor Day weekend with family and friends, enjoying some burgers, and hot dogs, and so on, the usual.
Absolutely. So, a lot has gone on in the past week for you. And the reason why I say that is because you have been on most of the major news outlets out there, whether it's on TV or in newspapers. And, you know, just to give the people an example of what I'm talking about right now on the screen, as they can see, News 12, your interview, your article on their website. Go to the next one. You're on another site right there. I can't, what was that? Oh, Country News. Country News.
Country News.
All right, let's keep going. You're also on Only in Bridgeport. Also, you're on newsbreak.com. So, you know, what took place for you this past week, we're going to just jump right into the interview discussing your heroic actions that took place this past week right here in the city of Bridgeport, Connecticut, where you delivered a baby.
Well, I don't consider it heroic. I do appreciate the attention and the positive light that brings to not just me, to the Bridgeport Police Department as a whole. But it's just like that article said. I was in the right place at the right time, and I was able and have the opportunity to help a father and a mom who were going through a very, very hard time at the moment. Very, you could just imagine how difficult and scary that could be. How much stressful that could be.
Yeah, and I can imagine. So let's start off from that day. You wake up in the morning, you put on your detective outfit, you strap on your gun, which I can see from right here, clear view. You put on your badge. It's a possibility it might be another day at work. And even though you deal with homicides, right? I mean, you've been a part of the Detective Bureau for quite some time now. So a homicide to you is just, sometimes it could be another day at work. Let's be realistic about it.
It is.
I mean, I know how you pride yourself at your job. You take it very serious. You know, you're out there working extremely hard. But it's just another regular day. I'm going to work. I got my coffee. And boom, you come upon this scene.
You never know what the day's going to bring, Jason. So on that day, I was actually on my way to bring some homicide evidence to the lab. And I approached Stratford and the intersection of Stratford and Newfield Ave, and there was a couple cars stopped in the middle of the intersection. I saw this gentleman walk around. He seems like he was confused, and I stopped. I thought it was an accident, motor vehicle accident, and I asked the man, hey, what's the problem? And that's when he tells me, my wife is
giving birth.
She's on labor. So obviously I stopped the car, turned on my police lights, and I approached the vehicle, and sure enough, his wife was in the back seat, and the baby was coming out right now. I mean, the baby wasn't going to wait. And to tell you, I give all the credit to the husband, the man there. I mean, I could see he was there are a lot of stress at the moment, but I think the biggest thing I did was just be there to support him and give him some direction. And I told him, sir, this is going to happen right now. You're not going to make it to the hospital. I did call the medics immediately through my police radio, but medics, the baby was not going to wait 2-3 minutes. The baby was crowning. You could just literally see his head coming out.
So you seen the head?
Yes, I did seen the head, and
she was in the back seat of the car.
She was in the back seat. Her legs were coming out of the car. Luckily, there was a woman there, also parking. She was calling 911, and I asked her, "Do you have any blankets?" And just by chance, this woman had a hamper with fresh blankets and towels. I mean, it was like
wow.
that alone.
What's the possibility of that taking place, right?
I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah.
And she did not hesitate on giving me a few blankets. So we placed the blankets under the lady and near the baby, and I told the man, "Listen, you gotta pull the baby out. I mean, grab him gently and have her push and pull him out." And the baby came immediately out.
Came right out.
Wow,
man, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I would have been in a state of panic. All right, I would have been in a state of panic. I don't know how you didn't panic, because I would have been.
I was panicked after. After, it was like, oh my God, I don't believe that just happened.
So baby comes out. You wrap the baby up in the blankets and the towels.
Give it to the dad.
But usually when a mother gives birth, the baby comes out. They, whatever it is they do, I don't know exactly what they do. They clean the baby, and then they make sure that the baby's airway is clear and the baby's breathing. And the key is to make sure that the baby starts crying. So, what was that? What was that like?
A little spank to the baby's butt, and the baby cry, and then the medics arrived shortly after, and thank God that they were there to deal with the rest.
Wow, man! Wow. So what I want to do is I want to show the viewing audience right now, because after the baby was delivered, they took the mom down to Bridgeport Hospital, I believe it was.
Yes.
And the mom recovered fine. She, great recovery. The baby is fine.
Yes.
And I have a picture of the baby that I want to show the viewing audience right now. And that's the baby right there. Now, my question is, did they give the baby your name? Now, I know it's a baby girl. It's a girl. So did they call her maybe Georgina?
I hope not. But there is we have a plan to go visit the family and
wow,
present them with a gift, a baby basket, and some things, and I'm hoping to schedule that.
Awesome, man. So let's take a quick commercial break.
Yep.
When we come back, we'll pick up where we left off at, all right?
Great.
All right, you guys. So listen, if you're watching right now, we're going to take a quick break. I have homicide detective from the Bridgeport Police Department here in the studio, sitting on the hot seat with me, Mr. Jorge Cintron. We're talking about an amazing event that took place in his life this past week while on the job, where he was able to participate in something that was not scheduled nor a part of his job description, to deliver a baby in the backseat of a vehicle. And he's here to talk about it with me for a little while, and we're going to talk about a whole bunch of other things as well. So don't go anywhere. Share this live broadcast to your timeline. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back momentarily, you guys. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to Spark City Smoke and Vape, located at 815 Lafayette Boulevard, Bridgeport, Connecticut.
All right, you guys, and welcome back to Live with Jason Rodriguez. Again, I'm your host, and we're broadcasting from the great city of Bridgeport, Connecticut. If you're just tuning in, I have Bridgeport Police Detective Jorge Cintron here in the studio with me. We're having an amazing time. George has come into the studio so that we can just have a conversation in regards to the incident that took place this past week. It wasn't a homicide. It was actually a life being born. And, George, it's an amazing thing, because you deal with death. You deal with incidents of shootings, whether, if someone's in critical, it's whatever. But if you come knocking on someone's door, most of the time it's not good news.
Yeah, I have to agree. So it was refreshing to be part of something positive for a change, and to be talking about this instead of my normal day-to-day activities.
Yeah. For example, right now you could have been, well, they're not open right now, but usually whenever you're given an interview or a testimony, there's a possibility you're sitting on the stand in the courthouse.
Yes, usually when I'm being interviewed, I've been not interviewed, cross-examined by my defense attorney. So there's a lot less pressure.
Well, I hope you feel comfortable. Here.
I do, thank you.
All right. So, again, for the people that are watching, this is Mr. Jorge Cintron, and we're talking about the incident that took place this past week where, George, you helped a family deliver a baby in the backseat of their car. And that's not the only thing we're going to focus on. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of different things as well. But, I just want to congratulate you on my behalf for your, and I know you don't want to hear this word, but for your heroic response dealing with such a critical situation, because you never know what the outcome would have been had you not been there. The father was in a state of panic. He really didn't know what to do, but you showed up, you guided him, you gave him instructions, and you helped him to bring out life out of the womb of his wife. And just big congratulations on you, man, because it's a great thing, man.
Thank you. I appreciate the recognition.
All right. So what I want to do really quick before we move on with the interview is I want to acknowledge some of the people that's watching, George, because there's a whole lot of people watching. Edward Rivera says, way to go, George. All right.
That's my buddy.
Yep. Edward Rivera. I see Myrna Reyes watching. I see my wife, Michelle Rodriguez, watching. I see my mother way out in Florida's watching. She's saying, what a scary moment. I have to agree. That had to be a scary moment.
Well, scary after. I just reacted at the time.
Victor Figueroa is saying respect the baby. I guess respect you. And let's see who else. Victor Figueroa is saying blessed, angel of God. And Dave Morales. Oh, Dave Morales, my buddy's watching as well. Yeah. Bridgeport Paris. Dave
Morales, my buddy, my friend, my neighbor.
Oh, he lives next to you?
Yeah. Well, luckily not that close.
Me and Dave know each other for many, many years.
That's
good guy.
Good.
And but yeah, George, big congratulations again on being a part of something that I don't think you were trained in the academy 24 years ago on how to respond and deliver a baby. Or correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, actually, they do.
Oh, really?
Give you the 30-minute video to how to deliver a baby if you have to.
30-minute video. So basically that tells me that you watched that video 23 and a half years ago. So you were rusty. Did you even remember the steps the video gave you?
No. I just I just reacted.
Yeah.
And in between the husband and I, we did it, you know.
Yeah.
But he's, you know, I think he's the one that deserves the credit. You know, he relaxed, he stopped panicking, and he took control of the situation, and he made it happen. I mean, as a father myself, I could imagine how stressful that was, and I think all he needed was a little support at the time, a little direction, and then he did the rest.
That's awesome, and you did your job, and you are very well respected for your actions. And you know, one of the things that really motivated me about getting you here on the hot seat and on the show is that with everything that's going on in the world and all the negative things that we hear, you know, in the world regarding or relating to law enforcement officers and all the negative things that people are doing to law enforcement officers, the good that they do tend to get ignored or fly under the radar. And you know, when I read your story on the incident that happened, I said, you know what, I got to get George in here. He needs to be not only rewarded but acknowledged for what he's done, because we hear, like I said, we hear about all the bad, but let's talk about the good. Let's talk about the good things officers are doing out there, because we have some really good stand-up ethical police officers in the Bridgeport Police Department who show up to work every single day and they do their job wholeheartedly.
That is absolutely right, Jason. There's stories like this every day where police officers put their lives, their lives on the line. They do heroic acts. They do things that normal people would not do. The normal people will walk away from. Normal people, at best, they would just make a call to 911. And I don't blame them for it. You know, that's the responsibility, at least, is to call for help. But every single day, all over this country, there's officers getting up, and there's thousands of stories similar to mine, where, you know, because of them, lives were saved. And they seem to be overshadowed by the occasional bad news and unfortunate incidents that happen throughout the country.
Yeah, and you know, George, when I look at you, you know, I love the fact that you're a male Latino, not taking anything away from female, but I love the fact that you're a minority, just like me. We're both Boricuas. You're a male Latino. You grew up here in the city of Bridgeport, but you originate from Puerto Rico.
Yes.
And you came here, I believe, when you were about 16 years old.
Yes.
And you came here, couldn't speak the language a lick. You knew no English. So you had to learn the language, and you had to work on weakening your accent, which was extremely strong, I believe, at one time.
Yes.
So what was that experience like? You know, coming from Puerto Rico, 16, don't know the language, but yet now today, almost 25 years later, you've had a long, lengthy career in the Bridgeport Police Department. You're a successful, accomplished, well-decorated officer in the department. And so what is it like starting off that way, getting here, not knowing the language, and being able to be where you are now, today?
Well, it was not easy at first. Like any person that comes to the United States from any other country and do not speak the language, I started in high school, the Harding High School, as English as a second language. And from there, I did graduate from Central High School, and you learn to speak the language with friends that do not speak Spanish for the most part, and that's how you're forced to learn it. But I did enter the police department with when I was still learning how to speak the language.
Wow.
I mean, I could read it, you know, I could understand it, but it was the most difficult part was to speak it. So I always stay away from words that I just couldn't pronounce. Even though I know them, I know how to write them, I know how to read them, I know what they mean, but I could not pronounce them. You know, over the years you get better.
Yeah.
and I still have an accent. And you know what? I had to work twice as hard as anyone else to accomplish what I have accomplished. But it never stopped me. You know, it never stopped me. I encourage anyone who wants to join the police department, and just coming from Puerto Rico or any other country. Hey, I did it. You know, they could do it. Don't let that. My language is not great. You get to it. You get it.
You know, I gotta say though, because it's really interesting that for a person who did not know the language as good as a regular person who grew up here like myself, you was able to enter into the Bridgeport Police Academy and successfully complete the academy. Forget about the academy. Going through the process. Mm-hmm. You know, you go through the agility test. You do the written exam. The written exam alone, for you to pass the written exam without knowing the language, you know, that's a great accomplishment.
Well, thank you. Well, I really wanted it, and I spent a lot of hours in the Bridgeport Library at the time. Like I said earlier, that I just had to work twice as hard as anyone else.
Yes.
It was just twice as difficult for me. Mm-hmm. So I just put on the time. Put the time in.
So, being a police officer and the need for officers in the city of Bridgeport, and you've been in the department almost 25 years. So, is there a need for minorities in the department right now?
There's always a need for people who, for a police department that could represent our community. Mm-hmm. You know, whether it's Hispanic, Puerto Rican, Brazilian, you know, Dominican, Asian, Portuguese. We do welcome and want a police department that represents the community that we live in.
Yeah.
Always.
Excellent, George. So we're going to take another break. All right. When we come back, we'll continue on with our conversation. So for you guys that are watching, don't go anywhere. We're going to take another quick commercial break. This is how we pay the bills here to keep our studio up and alive and going. And when we come back, we'll continue on our conversation with Bridgeport Police Detective Jorge Cintron. Don't go anywhere, you guys. We'll be right back.
Hi, welcome to Aces Bail Bonds.
Do you need information regarding bail bonds and the bail bond process? Contact us at Aces Bail Bonds, where we are happy to give you a free bail consultation. You are in capable hands with our reputable agency. For fast, reliable bail bond service, get out of jail fast with Aces Bail Bonds. You can save time and money by calling ahead. We'll have the forms ready for you, with everything handled privately, discreetly, and confidentially at our office. For fast, reliable bail bond service, call Aces Bail Bonds now.
Welcome to Ramirez Restaurant.
All right, you guys, and welcome back to Live with Jason Rodriguez. I'm the host of the show, and we're broadcasting from the great city of Bridgeport, Connecticut. And tonight we have homicide detective from the Bridgeport Police Department on the hot seat tonight, Mr. Jorge Cintron. We've been talking about an amazing event that he was a part of last week, where he assisted a family to deliver a baby in the backseat of their vehicle. And tonight we're going to continue on our interview with Mr. Jorge Cintron. George, how you feeling so far?
Feeling great.
Yeah? All right, so listen, I want to give a shout out to a few people that's watching. I know there's people watching all over the world. There's people in Florida, Arizona, Texas, Hartford, all over Connecticut. Wow. But I believe your niece, Jailin Cintron is watching all the way from where?
From Puerto Rico.
From Puerto Rico. Ah, what part of Puerto Rico?
Sabana Grande.
Sabana Grande. I never even heard of that location. Next to San Juan?
No.
Where's that next to?
It's on the south.
Okay. Ephraim Rodriguez is saying, very proud of you, George. Pito Hernandez is saying, great job, George. And also, Yan Chen is saying, you did an extremely fantastic job. She's giving you 2 big claps. And she says, I'm proud of you, George.
Thank you. Yeah.
I don't know who she is, but do you?
She's a friend of mine from Colorado.
Oh, okay. Excellent. And Heriberto Coriano is saying, hello, fam. And he's congratulating you as well, George. So,
cool.
You know,
Very nice.
Man, you know, it's been a good week for you. You've been nothing but on the spotlight. What's that like?
I'm not used to it, that's for sure. I do appreciate the recognition. I'm thankful, but I'm also humble by it. It was just the right place at the right time. I did not ask for this, and I did not expect this. But I am also happy that like you mentioned earlier, that I could be part of putting out a positive story out there instead of the occasional, unusual
negativity.
Bad publicity. Yes.
Yeah, bad publicity. And that's, like I said, that's the reason why I wanted to bring you in, because your story is great. It's a great story, and you know, we need to talk about all the good that the officers do instead of always talking about all the bad, which I'm sick and tired of hearing already, man.
Definitely.
You know?
Definitely.
So, let's continue on.
Let's do it.
You feeling good?
Let's do it.
Okay. You've been a part of the Bridgeport Police Department for almost 25 years.
Almost 24 years.
Almost 24 years. What has your career to you been like? And when you look over your career for the last 24 years, are you satisfied with where you are right now? And what is one of your greatest accomplishments that you can remember besides delivering a baby?
Well, yes, I am very happy where I'm at. You know, I think back when I was in high school, I witnessed a murder myself, and ever since that, all I wanted to do is, at one point, I want to be a detective, and I want to be a homicide detective. So since I was in high school, this is what I wanted to do. Yeah, you know, I went to school for it. I was always interested in the crime shows and read crime books. So one of my greatest accomplishments that I'm the most proud of is when I became a detective and I worked my way up there to the point that I was considered and asked to be in our homicide unit. I mean, out of the worst crime that could be committed is murder. It doesn't get any, harder than that, taking someone's life. And I was trusted enough to and considered enough to be part of this great unit. So when it comes to my career, this is one of the proudest chapters of it.
That's awesome, man. And I can't even imagine working in the capacity and the scope that you work in, and having to respond to unfortunate situations where someone's life has been taken or lost. And I take my hat off to you for being able to stomach it, because I'm sure that every scene is different, and every homicide is different. One might be a little cleaner than the other, but being able to function and to operate. For example, walking into a scene, let's say it's a child, a kid. I mean, how do you deal with that mentally? Seeing something like that, you have to do your job. You have to investigate. You have to take down your notes. You have to collect your forensic evidence. You have to do all of these things, when yet I'm sure something is going on in here and also in here in regards to the incident that's in front of you.
Well, of course, we are humans, and especially when you mentioned the kids, we got kids, and the first thing you always think is like, I have a kid that age, or a similar age. But it's just you gotta just put it aside. I mean, there's a list of things that I have to do, and they have to get done. And that's just the job. You put your feelings aside, and then once you're done, you deal with it the best way you can, whether it's talking to to someone to vent, or whether it's going for a jog or talking to friends. And there's different ways that we use to what's the word I'm looking for, to relieve our our stress, and excel. But unfortunately, the hardest part of my job is just dealing with the family members, to me, because no matter who the victim is, there's a father, there's a mother, there's a brother, there's a sister, there's someone that's hurting out there. And actually, that's I consider that's the hardest part. It's just knocking on the door and telling mom or wife, this news.
Yeah. So the incident takes place, and let's focus on Bridgeport alone. We have a good amount of unsolved murders, right? We have a good amount of unsolved murders. So what that tells me is that whoever committed that offense, it's a possibility that person is still residing here in the city of Bridgeport and living out their life still. And they haven't been pegged. They haven't been associated with that offense yet.
Absolutely.
So, what was that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So my question to you is, unsolved homicides, not necessarily a homicide. It could be it could be a shooting, and hasn't been tied to anyone. When you ask for the general public's assistance, how important is it for the community to stand up if they have some information and to contact you guys regarding any incident that takes place? How important is the public's help?
It's the most important. It's absolutely necessary, and we are always asking and inquiring, and sometimes even begging the community to come forward and help us out. I mean, this is our community. You live here, and when you have this person within your community committing these horrific crimes, we need to get rid of that person. And we have learned in the city that it's a very small amount of people committing the major part of these crimes. The bulk of these crimes are being committed by a very small amount of people. And imagine if we could get rid of those people, how much better our community, how much safer we will be. And our community is just as important, and they also, I believe, have the same responsibility as the police department to keep our city clean and safe.
Absolutely, George. Well, listen, George, we're coming to the point of the interview where we're winding down. So what I want to do is I want to give you an opportunity to speak directly to anyone that's watching live right now, whether it's some words of encouragement, whether it's some words of advice, whether it's some words that may inspire a young individual or anyone who has a desire to get involved in law enforcement. What would your words right now be to that person that's watching right now, George?
Well, what I would tell this young man and woman out there that have been following the news and seeing what's going on right now, all the negativity in the police department, and by any means, I'm not condoning any police brutality. Never have, never will. I've never been part of it. I've never been investigated, disciplined for it. But if you feel also that this is something that really bothers you, police brutality, okay, well, come and join us. You can make a difference yourself. Don't hesitate. We could use people that think the way you do. So if you think you can make police departments, whether it's in Bridgeport or anywhere else, better, come in. We welcome you.
That's right. So get down to civil service, put your application in. I know that, I believe in the spring, right? They're looking to put another class in, or?
I'm not sure, but soon we are actively recruiting. So hit the books, take practice exams online, and go running.
That's right. Start running, because that 1.5 mile, that will bite you in the ass if you try to come unprepared, man.
Get in shape.
All right, George. So I truly appreciate the opportunity to having you coming down to the show. But before I let you go, I'm just gonna hit you off with the shotgun questions before I move into the second part of the show. You ready?
Okay. Yes.
All right. So here we go, George. Here we go. What's your favorite song?
Wow. It's a shotgun question, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, I like any, pretty much any Mark Anthony songs.
Okay. All right. Your favorite movie?
Goodfellas.
Oh, that's a good one. Crime movie, huh? Favorite food?
Pizza.
Pizza.
Yeah.
What's your favorite pizza place in Bridgeport? Let's co-sign one of them.
I like Pepe's Pizza.
Pepe's? Okay. Okay. All right, I could go with that. What's your favorite sport?
Football.
Football.
Go Patriots.
Oh, Patriots?
Go Patriots.
Wow, okay. Go Patriots. All right. Favorite car?
I'm really hoping to purchase an Audi A6, so that's my favorite car right now.
Okay. Expensive today. I think those are going for about, how much is he? 80,000?
Yep.
80,000.
I'm going to have to buy a used one.
All right. Favorite thing you like to read, George?
I like to read crime books, suspense books.
So, when you're at home and you're watching TV, do you ever find yourself watching like Forensic Files, First 48, all those kind of shows?
No.
Okay, I'm just wondering.
I don't. I feel like I do that for a living, so I watch, like, I'd rather watch like ER, medical shows and
Animal show, Animal Planet.
Yeah, and comedy shows, something different.
Yeah. All right. Favorite thing you like to do?
Well, I like to work out, to unwind and relax, and I like to hang out with my family and friends.
That's right. That's right. And who's one of your friends?
Jason Rodriguez, right here.
As a matter of fact, here we go. That's us right there hanging out. Me, you, and Z. We're out there in, believe, a Peruvian restaurant. We went and had some good old Peruvian food. And that's our buddy Z from Spark City Smoke and Vape Shop, located at 815 Lafayette Boulevard in Bridgeport, Connecticut. All right, let's keep going. What's your favorite word you like to use?
Come on.
Come on?
That's it.
So that's something you like to use that at work with coworkers or just in general with everyone?
Come on. You gonna ask me again? That's
okay.
That's what I use.
What sound or noise do you love to hear the most?
Sound? Nothing better than the sea. The waves.
Okay. Favorite place you like to visit?
My hometown in Puerto Rico, the mountains of PR.
Oh yeah, there's nothing like Puerto Rico,
there,
man.
I love it there.
Nothing like Puerto Rico.
Yes.
Even though you grew up there, that's your favorite place to visit?
That's where I relax. That's my sanctuary there.
Yep. And as you already know, one day we're gonna plan a trip to go
We're doing it.
Yeah, we're gonna go up there, and Z's coming with us.
Vamos hasta un lechón and everything.
We're gonna do it. Z, you gonna be ready?
I'm already ready.
All right. Other than your current profession, if you was able to do it all over again, what would George Cintron do?
Well, right before I became a police officer, I was going to be a mailman. So I'll probably be delivering your mail right now.
Oh, wow. Delivering those bills or those checks? Which one? Both.
Hopefully both. More checks than bills.
There you go. Final shotgun question. If heaven really exists, when George Cintron from the Bridgeport Police Department arrives there, what do you want to hear God say to you when you arrive there?
Man, already walked the beat in Bridgeport, in the streets of Bridgeport, come walk the beat in heaven with me.
Okay. I like that. Well said, George. Truly appreciate you. Big congratulations on your accomplishment in the police department here in the city of Bridgeport, Connecticut. You're a very well successful decorated officer, stand-up officer in our city, and you've come a long way. You've had a great career, and I know that you're starting to wind down. You got about 1.5 years left, and I know that when you retire, the city's going to be losing a great officer. But congratulations also on the incident you was a part of, where you helped a family deliver their newborn baby in the back seat of their vehicle just last week, just days ago.
Yes.
And everything's just you've been on the spotlight all week long, and I wanted to bring you here tonight so we could just talk about you, your life, your career, your accomplishments, but most importantly, I wanted to talk about the incident that you were a part of last week. So big congratulations to you, man, and I just look forward to having you come back to the studio any other time you want.
Hopefully it's not for delivering another baby.
All right. Well, thank you, brother. God bless.
Congratulations
All right.
on your show.
Thank you. Don't move anywhere. And you guys don't go anywhere. I'm going to take a quick commercial break. But when I come back, I'm going to drop a video in of an amazing time we had about a week ago with a good friend of ours named Danny Pizarro, Danny P. If you don't know who he is, Danny P is a real estate, he's a real estate beast or a real estate monster. I mean, he owns a lot of property here in the city of Bridgeport, and we gathered with him about a week ago at a Colombian restaurant in downtown Bridgeport so that we can celebrate another big purchase he made right here in downtown, where he purchased an additional building next to the buildings he already owns. So if you know Jimmy's Army and Navy, if you know the old Subway, if you know the cell phone store, the liquor store, the Colombian restaurant, all in that radius, in that block, pretty much that whole block Danny P owns. And so we celebrated with him the purchase he just made. He has a lot of things going on there, big projects taking place in all those buildings in that area, and it's going to be great. It's going to be great what's to come in the near future. But I'm going to take a quick commercial break. But when I come back, I'm going to drop that video of that celebration we had with Danny P when we come back momentarily from this break. Looking for custom wheels? Looking for quality and professional service? Do you need a flat tire repaired? Are you looking for a $45 alignment and the lowest prices in the state? Come to Perez Tire Center, located in the city of Bridgeport. At Perez Tire Center, we take pride in our selection and service. We are never short on inventory, and we give you the best guaranteed lowest prices up front. At Perez Tire Center, we slash the competition and will beat the other guys. Financing is available and no credit check is needed. We also install batteries and tires on recreational vehicles, trailers, and motorcycles. If you need it, we got it. Perez Tire Center is open 7 days per week, located at 72 Knowlton Street in the great city of Bridgeport, Connecticut. All right, you guys, and welcome back to Live with Jason Rodriguez. I'm the host of this show, and we just had an amazing time with Bridgeport Homicide Detective Jorge Cintron, who is actually, he's still here in the studio with me. George came down. He was willing to sit on the hot seat, which can be a little hot at times, especially when these bright lights are on you. And the seat can be a little intimidating, but George was willing to come down, and we had a blast with you, George. I truly appreciate the opportunity to interview you. I've been, for quite some time, been trying to get a Bridgeport police officer to come into our studio to be a part of our platform. And finally, after almost 2 years of being here in the city, in our studio, we finally got George to come down and to fill that vacancy that I've been trying to fill for so long. So, big congratulations to Jorge Cintron on his career and everything that he has accomplished in the police department. And also, congratulations on your efforts of helping a family deliver a baby last week right here in the city of Bridgeport, Connecticut, in the back seat of their vehicle. So, without further ado, I'm going to continue on with the second part of the show, where I'm going to drop a video in of regarding a really good friend of ours named Danny Pizarro, known as Danny P. from here in Bridgeport, Connecticut. He's a real estate beast. He owns a lot of property here in the city, and we celebrated with him a big purchase that he made. He purchased an additional building right here in downtown Bridgeport, and I'm going to be dropping that video in momentarily. It's going to be the video includes a whole bunch of our friends: Nate Moran, Marlon Moran, Jose, and so many other different officials. Dennis Bradley, Chris Rosario. A lot of them are speaking in this video. It's about 10 minutes long, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back momentarily after the completion of this video. You guys enjoy. Again, share this live broadcast to your timeline. I'll be right back momentarily.
No DDP, he always hustling to do better. He always took the crew around him, guys, we gotta continue moving forward. We gotta do better. He motivated not only me, but the entire crew, like Alex, Morgan. He motivated us to do more, not to stay in the same level. And that's priceless, because you don't see that on TV, you don't see his speech out there. We see it with you, sitting down with you at the table, having conversation. That's in the business side, right? But in my heart, I gotta say, this is our brother. Danny P and I, we have a special bond that I can explain to you guys. We fight, we curse him out, you know, because sometimes it's another. He's too hyper for me sometimes. But I love him. I love the way he is. And also, he keep it real with me all the time. What I want to be just like you, my brother. And I love you and appreciate you.
Everybody here, if you pan across this room here, we all come from different places of the world. We're from Italy, Colombia, the Dominican Republic. We all want to come here to this country to live the American dream. Danny is really living the American dream. And we're proud of you. Congratulations. This isn't the first time we've been here. It's not the last. Congratulations.
I love it. Thank you.
God bless. Thank you.
4 years ago, I was appointed against many odds as the health director. And I had a lot of opposition because I was not from Bridgeport. And so because I wasn't from Bridgeport, I had a lot of people trying to come for my head. And I remember that Danny had to take me to an event, and he was driving me to the event. And he said, yo. And he gave me a whole speech, and I was like, all right, this is really what's happening, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, what the point is that when no one was showing me love, Danny had my back from the beginning. And I always remember who had my back from the beginning.
Right. So, me and Danny, we have an amazing relationship as a friend. We work together, we work hard together. And this is the thing. I see him like a mentor, role model, and multiple, like older brother. Because I see him like another name. Because he always on top of me with things that I'm like, wow, I can't believe it. Because just seeing him, the way he pushed his circle, the people around him is priceless. Because he always looking for way how he can give you advice, motivate you. And the same way, we kind of mentor each other. And it's not just money-wise. It's just the heart that he has, the way he thinks and he cares about things. It's hard to find people like this guy.
I love you, Dad. You're amazing. He inspires me so much. I love my friends being around him because I feel like he inspires them. He's the most successful person I know. Super driven. And I love him, honestly. He just inspires me a lot.
I know that. And I appreciate that. Yeah.
You know, we've been only friends for less than a year, and I think in less than a year, I think we've become pretty close in the sense of what we're trying to accomplish together as a group.
That's right.
As a lot of you guys have said, you know, we're trying to do something not only here in Bridgeport or even just as a brains level of how we could conquer the block, right? And it's funny, we met through a couple of guys here. I'm a commercial lender, and we were talking about certain things. It became a friendship, and then it became, how do we work together? How do we make all of us eat at the same table? And you know, when you have friends like that, and you see how this table is bigger and bigger, we got what, 4 or 5 tables now? Hopefully next year, you buy another building and it's 10 tables, right?
Oh, without a doubt.
The group always has to keep advancing,
you know,
keep being the inspiration that you are. Thank you for everything you do, because I mean, you're an inspiration to me as well. You know, I'm always motivated, I'm just as motivated as you. And you know, it's awesome to be around people that are just like us.
Oh, I love it.
Something about Danny P, he's the guy with the hugest heart.
Like if you need, he's there for you, no matter what. And I appreciate that. Something that I learned from you. Something that I wasn't like that. But because of you, I'm there for anyone that needs me. And I'm so proud of everything you're doing, where you come from, where you are now, and where you're gonna be from here. I can just imagine where you're gonna be 5 years from now.
Everybody in this room has a degree of success, and I think that in America, thank God, there is a degree of ease to become successful, because there's a format you can follow to become successful. So everybody here has acquired a degree of success, but show me a man who's been knocked on his ass and show me how they respond to that, then I take my hat off to the person who can dust themselves off, pick themselves up, and keep moving forward. That type of grit, that type of handling adversity, that type of heart is few and rare. Because we've all seen people who have been millionaires, who've been successful, who have been whatever type of accolades they've acquired, and they've been knocked on their ass and they're unable to get back up. Danny P has showed all of us. And the reason he inspires us is not with words. It's a lot of people who are great speakers, but there are few people that with their actions have the heart and the grit to get knocked down and to bounce back up. And the reason I listen to Danny P and I have him in my friend circle and I consider him, as well as everybody here, a brother, and I don't use that word lightly, is because you've shown us, Danny, with actions, what it is to be a man, to be knocked off and dust yourself up and pick yourself back up. And I thank you for that, for showing your genuine self to all of us, of being fearless and saying, this is where I was, this is what I was, this is where I went back, and here I am trucking on forward. I give you a round of applause.
I've known you, you are amazing. Every day you surprise me with something you say, something you tell me, something you show me. Your friends are amazing. I told you this before. You surround yourself around a lot of positive people, which says a lot of your character. So I am also honored to be here with you celebrating. I told you this.
I met Danny a couple years ago, and it's kind of sad to say, but Danny didn't want to hang out with me at first. I don't know what I did to him, but
So, hold on, let me get close to him.
So, and it's crazy. So I was like, okay, fuck Danny. I don't care. Fuck him. But throughout the time, me and Danny's bond has grown tremendously. Danny's a wonderful person. I have never met nobody with a heart like Danny. Danny has a heart that nobody in this world has. He's a go-getter, he's a hustler, he doesn't quit, he gets it done. He figures it out like he always says. And the only thing I can tell you, Danny, is may God bless you with lots of health so you can keep on grinding, keep on buying, and hopefully we're back here in 3 or 4 months again celebrating another purchase.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I went for a loan, and I got denied for the loan. I was like, shoot. So, okay, no problem. Let me go to another bank. I got denied again. Okay, so how am I gonna figure it out? So I'll, always, try to. I don't know if my daughter knows or Camilo knows, but I spend, when I'm at home, I'm by myself in the kitchen, always thinking of ways to figure it out, ways to make it happen, ways, how am I gonna freaking succeed? Because I fail a lot, I make a lot of mistakes. So the more mistakes I make, the more I'm like, oh shit, I can't continue making these mistakes. So I gotta succeed more than the mistakes, for crying out loud, so I'm always like thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. So I was at Home Depot and I was talking to the store manager, and he was like talking to me about how successful now the developer was, because he knew Tom DeMeo, a banker that's giving them loans. And I was like, shoot, well, I'm unable to qualify for loans because I don't know why. My credit has always been like good. I'm always on top of my bills and on point. So he introduced me to Tom DeMeo, which is a gentleman here. And I called him up, and it was a little, you know what I mean? Like, I met him, I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna get denied again. And when I met him, he, took my paperwork, and Luisa Diaz, my real estate agent, I've been dealing with her for years, and I've never gotten a loan because I've always used to buy cash, sell, buy cash, and I sell. But I wanted to step up to the next level. In order to step up and move up and be successful, you gotta borrow. You gotta get into good debt. The more money you make, the more money you borrow, the more money you make. The more money you borrow, the more money you make. So at any rate, so I gave him my paperwork, and I don't know what happened, but I got qualified for all of a sudden for 3 loans.
I control the whole process, that's why.
So, no. So I was like, oh, shoot, okay, no problem. So, I don't know, the regulators closed down the bank, and the feds closed down the bank.
After you got his loans.
After I got my loans. So then I was stuck again. And then I went to another bank. I don't even remember what. So then it was another period of time when I was stuck because I was unable to get loans, and I couldn't figure out like the process basically because I was still learning because I was always buying cash. So then he went to a bank in the Empire State Bank in New York. All of a sudden, I was able to borrow. I was able to get 2 loans. So then I was like, shoot, 2 loans, and then all of a sudden he introduced me to the First Bank of Greenwich. So the First Bank of Greenwich ended up giving me the $3 million worth of loans by his referral. $3 million worth of loans. So at the same time, I was like, shoot, okay, so how am I gonna, $3 million, so then that's not enough. I can't get only $3 million. I want $100 million. I don't want $3 million. So then what happened was that he got a job at a bank in New York called Alma Bank. So I was like, you know what? I need $10,000, $20,000 loan.
Yeah.
So he gave me a $20,000 unsecured loan. So, and I was like, paying it little by little. So with that little loan, without knowing that what was gonna happen years afterwards, like I didn't even so I was like, when I was when I was working on another deal, I said, you know what, let me pay it off and let me apply again. So then from a $20,000 loan became a $50,000 loan, and then I don't know, now he's giving me millions and millions and millions and millions of fucking
I'll take some of that.
I'm sorry, millions of dollars worth of loans, Tom to me. So I appreciate Tom because he's part of my success. So I love that.
And I can't wait till your pool's in.
I know it's fun. So at any rate, so this is important to me I own a lot of properties in Bridgeport. I a lot of properties everywhere. But this is important to me, and for me to have everybody here is super important, very important. To be able to have a friend I'm here for you guys. Anybody needs anything, I'm here. I can figure it out, literally. And we all need to, this is us. I don't like to show off. I just, if I have it, you guys have it. If I got $1 million, that's our money. Let's invest it or let's spend it. I don't care. So at any rate, no, because that's how I am. That's how I am. Anyway, so I own the Subway building, which everybody knows, which I'm doing 6 studios above it. I'm doing 2 studios above this restaurant, which I own. The jewelry store, I own. The Jimmy's Army Navy's, I own. And the building that I just bought is a liquor store, which I'm going to control because there's a lot of, I don't want nobody hang out in the front at all. Okay? And then the back building here, which is a salon, and the 3 stories above the salon, which I'm going to do 3 studios, and also 1 studio above the jewelry store. So the building I just acquired is the salon, which is a liquor store. So I have 2 more buildings left, and I own the whole square block. Right?
You know, the harder you work, the luckier you get.
And with that said, look at Mr. Chairman. Got to go.
You gotta let him talk.
Oh, that's why I've been looking for you. That's what I've been looking for.
I got nothing. Hey, hold on. We got one more.
I was wondering what happened with Jay. He was holding the camera. No, go ahead. Come on. No, because he's new. He's new to our circle, and these guys know that I don't like to like. This is it. This is us. You know, he's great. You've been great. You've been great.
So basically what I want to say is, first of all, I appreciate you, Danny. I highly admire who you are, all your accomplishments, all your success. I appreciate the fact that you make us, the Latino community, look so good here in the city of Bridgeport, Connecticut. And the one thing that I just wanted to mention, and I'm going to make it real short, is that I love the fact that we all came together to celebrate you while you're still here alive with us. It's not a celebration of someone who has passed away. So, you know, it's just an honor to be here, to be a part of your celebration, of your success. And, man, listen, I'm here. I'm down. I'm ready to roll with you.
Perfect. It's showtime.
Welcome to Spark City Smoke and Vape, located at 815 Lafayette Boulevard, Bridgeport, Connecticut.
All right, you guys, and welcome back to Live with Jason Rodriguez. Listen, you guys, I just want to thank each and every one of you who tuned in tonight. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. I want to give a big shout out to Jorge Cintron from the Bridgeport Police Department, who was willing to come down to our studio and to sit on the hot seat. We had an amazing time with Jorge Cintron. We also had a blast, as you just witnessed, with Danny P celebrating his purchase of one of the big buildings here in downtown Bridgeport. But I want to also give a big shout out to all of my listeners on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Republic Radio, Google Podcasts. I want to thank you guys for listening on a weekly basis as well. We'll be back next week for an amazing show, another amazing interview. Our goal here is to bring you the best exclusive interviews throughout the state of Connecticut. We try to bring to you some really educated, really productive, positive, influential people. And next week, we have an amazing interview set for you guys. Same time, same place, same channel, right here on Super Elite Entertainment at 7 p.m. sharp. Make sure you tune in, you guys. Again, I'm your host, Jason Rodriguez. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. God bless. Love you to pieces. Have a good night.